I think it's very good. I still like the first.
The
LP.
first is the best.
Yes. Good short songs.
No, it's true. We sound like we're a very young band. Exuberant.
Stupid.
Stupid. No, most of the songs are very short, 2 minutes, maybe 2.5, and it's fresh. It sounds very fresh. Even now, it still sounds really fresh.
You didn't sing on it, Paul.
No,
what do you think?
He did not sing.
I liked it though. I bought it. I was the person who bought it.
Yes.
So I feel like I'm part of the story even now.
Yeah.
Even as a child. I was very small
Part of
when
the
these guys were. I mean, these guys were only 40 years old back then. So you know, no, it's great. It is the sound of young, snotty Derry boys, but young snotty Derry boys that could write great songs, which was obviously a help in terms of putting a record together. So yeah, it's great, and it stands up well. And it's not a lot of records from that time, and certainly from the 80s. Immediately after that time, you can't listen to them now because they were so badly produced. It doesn't suffer from that. It's not overproduced. It was just put together very quickly, and that's the way it has to be done with that sort of music. So it stands up. It still sounds fresh. So that's great.
I like playing it because I know that people like it, and if you're in a band and you're playing on stage, you know that we have at least one song that people like. We have more than one song that people like. No, sometimes there was a period whenever we didn't like playing it. That was about 1983, but then we weren't very happy. Anyway, we weren't a happy band. So playing it now, I still like it.
It's great because
Good song.
it's a great song and you get a great reaction. So they're happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
I see. If we don't play it, there'll just be trouble. So.
If we don't play it, we have to give money.
But with that, it's great. I mean, it's a great song to sing, and it's popular for a reason. You know, I think songs after a certain length of time, you can't just blame, or you can't just attribute it to fashion, or if a song lasts, it's because it's a great song.
It's like this: if Ultravox, their big song is Vienna, and Vienna is crap, and I'm sure they're going dum dun dun dun, dun, and they're thinking, shit, we have to play this again, dum dun 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 dun. But we play Teenage Kicks, and Teenage Kicks is great.
Yeah,
you know?
It is handy that the anthemic song happens to be a good one.
It's the good one, yeah. The problem now is that punk rock isn't new anymore. Back then it was new. In fact, it was so new that people didn't like it whenever we played with the Clash.
Especially in America, yeah.
Oh, they did not like us at all. We were support bands. Sometimes people liked it in New York, they liked it in Los Angeles, they liked it. In Detroit, no, they did not like it. In Philadelphia,
Chicago.
What was the first place we played? The Twin Cities. St. Paul, Minnesota. No,
Minneapolis, yeah.
they didn't like it. Now, it's completely different, but sometimes if you get a really good punk rock band, they're still good. You know?
I think punk's more of a... what I often lament is people sometimes losing sight of the fact that it's kind of... The attitude that was with punk seems to have gone, it's become more of a fashionable thing or whatever. You know, it's just about clothes and a certain style of music, and I think punk isn't really. That's part of it, but it's not really about that. I mean, it's about having a certain attitude to the world and an attitude about yourself, and setting oneself apart or identifying with certain things or with certain attitudes. And I think a lot of people don't get that today. They think someone's punk, and you're going, well, it's actually almost the opposite, because it's really conforming with a stereotype and a preconceived notion of what that is. Whereas, you know, I think punk's really about thinking for yourself and, you know, self-expression in the purest sort of sense of that, you know. And I think a lot of that's absent from music now for all sorts of reasons.
Damien, what do you think?
No, I concur.
We concur?
I concur.
We concur.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think the next thing, that's why it makes it so hard. I'm actually, it's a good thing to be able to say. You know, you're sort of wondering what might the next thing be that might do it. You know, I think the difference is record companies think, and people who are in bands, shall we say, for reasons other than just the fun of it, they seem to think they know what that's going to be. And the truth is, you can't know what that's going to be. And that's the great thing about it. I still, perhaps foolishly and perhaps naively, think there might be something that's going to come along. I'm actually reminded of at the moment of the 1980s, when there was a lot of very vacuous, kind of meaningless sort of music being made by bands that were hugely popular and selling records. But I was just looking at it going, I can't understand why people are buying these records. And I feel the same way about a lot of new music today. Then again, I'm much older now, and I'm probably meant to feel like that. But still, I suspect it is a little empty, and it is a little kind of meaningless. And I'm reminded of the time in the 80s when, because it was 30 years ago now since the Smiths came along, and I'm kind of reminded of that time when, lo and behold, out of nowhere, this strange, different band came out of Manchester. So maybe the time is actually where, you know, we're at the time where the next thing's going to be. But what it'll sound like or look like, God knows, and that's great, because I again, in my slightly foolish moments, I get a little excited about, maybe something really good's going to come along now, because, I mean, Coldplay have had a good career. It's time to go away, you know. Oh yeah,
Very nervous.
Yeah, we get very nervous. Yeah. Which is good. I think other performers have said it before, of course, but they all say it because it is true. I think it's a worrying thing if you don't feel that. There's something wrong if you don't feel kind of nervous before you go on, because you're lucky to be able to do it. I mean, it's great to be here in Switzerland, you know, without sounding sort of like, you know, we're trying to get on side, which of course we are. Always, but you know, you get to come to places like this. But normally we wouldn't. You know, it's a great thing to be able to be asked to come to places like this and play, and people coming along, and you know, they want to see you. So there is a pressure to be good. You know, I mean, I know we can play and we've got good songs, but you got to.
But we don't play all the time.
Yeah,
and that makes it again more fresh.
Yeah,
when we do play it, it's more of a celebration.
And if you're, you know, I get very nervous. We don't have any rituals. Maybe we need to get some rituals. Maybe to kind of.
I don't know.
I'd like to think we might still be doing it. Maybe not as often. Maybe not as often.
I couldn't see it.
No, not in 10 years.
Not in 10 years.
Yeah, but you say that. You say
10 minutes time. 10 minutes. No, I can't see it. But then again, 10 years ago, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would say can't see it. But you know, we will stop whenever the Rolling Stones stop. They stop first, then we stop.